Today we're going to take care of a little project that I've been procrastinating on. What we have here is the little gray box. Yes, this is the electric water heater timer. And the problem with these timers is, number one, these are the good ones, the Intermatic ones. There's a lot of cheap crap plastic ones out there that don't work worth a shit. But these ones here are good. So if you got one of these, even if it dies, it's worth putting a new motor in. This one here works good. I haven't had any problems with it, but the one thing they lack is a vacation switch. I need my timer settings to be fairly accurate, and I don't want to have to take the little arrows off there, the trippers, in order to bypass it for vacations. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside here where that knockout is, and we're going to put a vacation switch. Now the vacation switch is very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to interrupt the line from the timer and go to the terminal there. So it's a very simple hookup, something that should easily have been installed in one of these things for the price. I mean, for the price of an extra $2 at manufacturing cost, if that, they could have easily put one of those in there and it would have made it a perfect, great item. And it also works good for trying to synchronize your time, because when you turn these and adjust them, there's a gear tooth and you can never get it exact. It's always like 10 minutes or something. So what you could do is turn it off when you know how far it's out and wait for the time to expire to bring it on to the hour. So in other words, what you would do is wait until the hour mark gets to where the arrow is, shut the power off there, and then wait until the clock time actually reaches dead on the hour, and then trip your power switch on, and your accuracy would be perfect. You just then reset your time for your time of day, and it would be right on calibration. Just a simple project, a simple thing that I've been putting off for probably a couple months now. So our simple modification starts with a simple off-on switch. 2 contacts, switches off, switches on. You can buy them at most big box stores or hardware stores for around $2 or $3. You make up, buy the connections too. Don't cheap out and just try and go with bare wires. You're going to have problems. So buy the little crimp connectors and do it properly, and you'll never have a problem with it. So basically we're looking at about a 2-inch long piece of wire. 2-inch long piece of wire that runs down there. Now this is my adaption here, and I'll show you this in just a second. I'll take it apart and show you what I've done. I've created a sandwich. There's 2 fender washers here that are larger, and then there's a little nylon washer on the inside. And the idea is the fender washers are a little larger than the knockout hole, and the nylon washer will fit snugly inside the knockout hole, so it'll prevent the switch from moving around. It'll lock it in there nicely. What I did have to do was drill the holes in the fender washer a little bit larger. I believe it was a 1/2-inch drill bit for the size of shaft on the switch. As you can see, what we've done is just basically made a sandwich here. As I said, the fender washers, I had to drill the hole out a little larger. This one here, the hole's a little bigger than what's needed, but that's the size that I found it in, and it was like a perfect fit for the hole. So what we're doing is basically creating a sandwich. You got your back nut on here, 1 fender washer, the nylon one, and you stick that into the hole from the inside. Then you put the other washer on, the on-off plate, and the outside the outside nut. And that's a simple job. Here's a close-up look at it. We got the power off now. So what we're going to do here is the white thin wires are the ones that go to the motor. And they're both under that one screw. There's your black wire there, which is your power wire. So what we're going to do is take that terminal off. We're going to take the white wire and connect the white wire up to the terminal on that switch. And we're going to connect that to where the white wire went. And then we're going to mount that whole assembly in through there, through the hole on the inside. Now, you could do it on the bottom if it's easier. That might be a way to go, but you got to be careful that you don't short the ground wire to it. So you want to kind of tape these terminals up when you get done putting the wires on before you put it in. And that way, if the ground wire should hit it, it's not going to short circuit and blow a fuse. So what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to take that screw right out to get it in. And what I found is this terminal has too big of a hole in it. So I'm going to cut this end off, and I'm going to put a small blue one like that that's going to go on there so I can connect it to the other side of the switch. So I've cut the old connector off and I've stripped that back, and what I've done is I've put about double the length so I could fold it over, because it is a very thin wire that I'm working with here. And then I'm going to crimp a blue end on it. Now we've got the wire connected up. We got the white wire, which comes from the motor that drives the timer, and we go through this. This is 12 gauge. This is way overkill. It's just some 12 gauge copper speaker wire that I had just for a little piece. You don't need to go this thick. You could get away with, you know, probably number 16 wire for just driving the motor. It just happens to be what I had around, and I generally go overkill with things. I'm sick and tired of seeing things cheaped out, melting down and everything else. So you go overkill, you'll never have a problem. Now make sure that you tighten all your screws as tight as you can get them, but you don't want to strip it. You want it tight enough. These should not strip. If they're properly made in America, they should not strip. These ones here are very good. I tightened them as tight as I could get them with a screwdriver. It had no problem. Don't forget, put tape around there because you got a ground wire that's floating around. And now it's just a matter of mounting the switch in the case. It's in there. I did experience some problems here. I had to cut that plastic piece, or half of that plastic piece, to get it in. So the switch was a little too tall. So either find a shorter switch that doesn't come up as high, or just use the hole in the bottom and put it in the bottom. That might be an easy solution as well for it. So it's in. That's what it looks like. So you just turn it on and then turn it off for vacation. If you're going away for a couple weeks, or if you got company up for a weekend or for a week's holidays or something, you can turn that off and then just turn that lever to the on position, and your water heater will run full tilt as normal. And then to resume your program, you simply turn the power back on and set your dial to the correct time of day. And like I say, if it's off by 10 minutes or so, then what you do is you leave this on until the dial gets right on the hour or half hour, and then shut it off, and then wait until the next clock time comes right on the hour, or right on the half hour, or right on the 15 minutes, and then turn the power on and then reset your dial to the correct time, and everything should be nicely synchronized. Now I just got to put the plastic piece back on to protect from the wire connections. Alright, now we're just going to check everything out. I did have to remove this to get it in, which is that clip up the top, which lets this top piece come out and lets you pull the whole thing up. But other than that, everything seems to be good. Everything's nice there. That is a little loose, so what that's telling me is the shim that's inside there is a little too thick. It's not letting it tighten up quite enough. It's not going to go anywhere, but I would have liked to have had it a little bit tighter. If I push on it, it will move. So that nylon shim that prevents it from slipping down over the hole, it's a little too thick. Other than that, that should be it. I'm just going to throw the power on and test everything here, and then put the plastic cover back on it. Power's back on. We got power on that side, so we click that up. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm not even touching it. Yeah, see, there's nothing there. Okay, and that's good. That's done. Now all I got to do is set my time, put that plastic shield back on, so if anyone opens it up, they're not going to get electrocuted. Nothing there. Okay, it's good. It's good to go. It's all back together. It's all done. Its synchronization seems to be fairly good. It's probably within a minute, so that's close enough for me. So she's all set, and I just leave it. It's off, and it'll come on at 7 o'clock at night when the power rates go cheap. So at 7 o'clock at night when the power rates go cheap, this will come on. It'll turn off at 9 o'clock. Then it turns on again at 3 in the morning to warm up my full tank for me for when I get up, and it turns off at 7 a.m. when the hydro rates double. So now it's done. I got my little vacation switch on the side. So now when I have company come up, I can just click that off and click that switch to the on position. I got continuous hot water without having to take the trippers off and then reset the trippers again and try and get them all adjusted the way I like them. So good. A procrastinated project complete.